Hello all, welcome to Constellation Training and Placement Services training courses. My name is Vivek Gaurav and today we are going to solve one question paper of TCS NQT exam for the coding section. We shall follow it up with a series of videos of test paper solutions and also conduct live classes for you. During this session, we will solve 10 MCQ questions and 2 coding questions. So without wasting any time, let's start and share my screen. So today we are going to solve one paper of TCS NQT. So let us look at the syllabus that we have. The syllabus is that section 1 is verbal ability, then we have reasoning ability, then we have numerical ability, but we are not going to cover these part. We are going to start with 4, 5 and 6. We'll solve the first 10 MCQ question, then one coding one question, and then one coding two question. Okay. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and start. The first question is that which of the following is true about file asterisk FP? Okay, so file is a structure and FP is a pointer. Okay, so file is a structure and FP is a pointer to the structure of file type. File type. So the correct answer is going to be B. No doubt on that. Okay, so the correct answer is B. Go to the second question. Which function among the following can't be accessed outside the class in Java in the same package? So the correct answer is protected. If you are using protected, you can't use it outside the Java same package. Okay, so the correct answer is going to be the D1, protected. Next question. The difference between variable declaration and variable definition is, so let's talk about here. Variable declaration is when you write int a, and variable definition is when you write int a is equal to 10. Okay, so what it is, declaration associates type to the variable, whereas definition gives value. So we are giving value here. So this is what the correct answer is going to be, D. Okay, so the correct answer is the D1. Okay, now let's go to the fourth question. The fourth question is that how can we insert different type of data in the stack? We can do it with the union, we can do it with the structure. So the correct answer is going to be both B and C. If you remember, in the structure, when you create, let's suppose struct employee, you are creating struct as or student, there you can have integer, you can have float, you can have char, right? You can have anything, you can have anything. So basically of different data type, you are putting it into one and it is going to be into the stack one. Okay, so the correct answer is the union as well as the structure. So both B and C are the correct answer. Now let's go to another question. Fifth one, what does the header file contain? So the correct answer is declaration. Okay, the header file contains the declaration. Always remember that, don't get confused. The correct answer is going to be declaration. Next question, which of the following has the highest precision? Okay, so now when we talk about float, okay, when we talk about float, the float is having value something like 3.14 and then x and then x and then x and then x. So it is having 6 digits of precision on towards the right, 6 digits of precision. But when we go with double, when you use double, you have 3.14 up to 14 digits, up to 14 digits. Okay, you have precision up to 14 digits. So which has the highest precision? Of course, by default, double has the highest precision, right? Double has the highest precision. I have given the explanation over here as well. You can read this part, but I have already explained it in the previous video here, this part. Okay, so I am just skipping that part. Next one, which of the following statement is false? So the first statement is the time complexity of binary search is O log n. In case you did not know it, just leave it there. Look at the second option. A linear search requires a sorted list. Not at all. This is of course false. A linear search does not require a sorted list. Only a binary search. A binary search requires sorted list. A linear search can work on any kind of list. Okay. So this option is the false one. So this statement is the one, is the right answer. Okay. B is the right answer. Next one. How many times the loop will be executed? So where we are starting with 5 and then so it is decrementing basically 5 to 1 and it is going to in an incremented way 1 and y less than equal to x, so 1 to 5. So we will have x, let's dry run it, and then we were having y. Okay, so for when the value of x is equal to 5, how many times the loop will run? It will start with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So basically it is running 5 times. Okay, and the value of x became 4, it is going from 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many times it ran? It ran 4 times, right? It is running 4 times. When the value of x is equal to 3, it is going 1, 2, 3. So it is running 3 times. Similarly for 2, it will run 1 and 2. So it is 2 times. And for the value of x is equal to 1, it is running only 1 time. So it is 1 time. Just add everything. 5, 4, 9, 5 plus 4, 9, 3, 12, 2, 14, 1, 15. So the correct answer is 15. Okay, no need to run the program. We are dry running it, and we got the output as 15. Okay, so the correct answer is going to be 15. Look at the next question, question number 9. What will happen if reverse and join methods are used simultaneously? So if reverse and join are used simultaneously, then you get reverse and stores in the same array. This is what you get. Okay, so the reverse followed by a join will reverse the respective array and will store the reversed array in the memory. Okay, so it is going to reverse and store in the same array, not a different array. Okay, same array. Remember that. Next, how many times is the recursive function called? Which of the following when the following code is executed? So we have a recursive function over here. Okay, and it is calling, when n is equal to 0, it is returning, and then otherwise it is calling recursive n minus 1. Okay, and we are calling with 10. So we are calling with 10, so 10, and then it will be called for 9, and then for 8, and then 7, and then 6, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. So we have 10 values here itself, right? We already have 10 values over here itself, and then one time it is being called from here also, right? 10 times it is calling here itself, right? It is being called here itself. What about the one time when we are calling it? First time when we are calling it, so 10 plus 1, so correct answer is going to be 11. The correct answer is going to be 11. Okay, so this is where it is being, how this is the number of times it is being called. Okay, so we are done with the MCQ question. Now let us look at the coding one question. So the first coding one question we have is that one programming language has the following keyword that cannot be used as identifier. Fair enough, and they have given a list of the keyword we have. Okay, write a program to find if the given word is a keyword or not. Okay, so when we you enter input defer, you will get defer is a keyword, while is not a keyword. So it is a straightforward question. I don't think there is too much of logic involved. What you have to do is that you have to create an array. Okay, of course, a two-dimensional array, and it is having 16 values if I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, right? 16. So we'll create a two-dimensional array, and then we are going to take an input from the user, and then what we are going to do is that we are going to compare, run a look, and compare if this one exists over here or not in the index of I or not, the loop variable. Okay, so now what we are going to do is that I'm going to go to dev C++, and then I'm going to start writing the program hash include. Okay, hash include stdio.h, and then hash, okay, sorry, and then hash include, and since I'm going to use compare, string compare, so I'm going to use string.h as well. Okay, these are the two header files I'm going to use. Then what I have to do int main. Okay, and then I have to, first thing I have to do is that I have to make an array of all the things which is given over here. So we already discussed 16, and then I'm keeping 10. Okay, and this is going to include what? This is going to include everything. So let us look at this. What are the things they are having? Break, case, continue, default. Okay, let's start typing each and everything. Break, case, continue, default. Okay, and then we have default, and then defer else for func. Okay, defer else for func. Okay, and then we have 8 more values left. Okay, func, go to if map range, go to if map range, go to if map, and we have range, right? So we are done with 12 values, and then we have 4 more. Return struct type where, return spelling was wrong, return type struct. And then we had one more thing, where. Okay, this was the thing I have, right? Now I'm done with that. Now what I have to do is that I have to come back over here, and then I'll be having another one which is going to be input is string, and here I'll take it as 20, and no hard and fast rule as such. You can keep it as 10 as well, not an issue. Now what I have to do is that I have to take a flag variable, because when I'm going into loop, I need to have a variable whose value I will change if I found it. Okay, so this is what, and then I'll read it from the user, percentile s. Okay, and then here I'm going to use input. So I got the input from the user. Okay, now what I have to do, nothing much, just start a loop. By default this is going to be I is going to 0, and then I less than 16, and then I plus plus. Okay. Now what I have to do? I have to use if strcmp. I'm going to use strcmp. In case you do not know how to use strcmp, it takes two string and compares them. So first is going to be the input. The second is going to be the str with an index of 5, because for each value of break and case continue, I have to check it. Okay. And this is what I have to do. And I have to compare it with 0. This is what it is. Okay. It returns 0 if it is matching, else it will not return me anything. And then what I have to do is that I have to make flag is equal to 1, and then I have to break it. Okay. This is what I have to do. And after that, what I will do is that, okay, just a second, let me just correct the brackets over there. Right now, what I have to do is that if flag is equal to 1, it means what? It means I have got my statement printf, and then percentile s is a keyword. This is what I have to do. Is a keyword. Okay, sorry for the spelling mistake. Is a keyword, and else it is going to be not. That's what I have to do. Else it is not a keyword. Okay, and then what I have to do is that I have to use return 0. That's it. Okay, so let's run it and now and check. Okay, so defer is a keyword. Okay, okay, wait, percentile d I'm typing, it should be percentile s, and it should be percentile s. Okay, now run it. Okay, defer is, okay, I didn't get any output. Reason being is that I didn't type that the value for it. Okay, in the hurry I missed that part. That's the reason. Now let's run it. Defer. Defer is a keyword. Okay, and they said while also to try. I will try while. While is not a keyword. I'm getting the output. This is what they wanted us to have now. Okay, now what we are going to do is that we are going to do the same program using the Python. Okay, so now in the Python, what I have to do is that here also I have to make the, I have to keep the keyword. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to save the time. So I'll just copy this whole thing and come back over here, and I'll create a variable and we'll give everything over there, remove the semicolon. Now what I have to do is that I have to take input, right? I have to take input. So here I cannot use input as the variable name because input is the keyword over here. So I'll write input str. Okay, input str is equal to input. I'm not giving any message to the user. Okay, now what I have to do is that I can directly write if input, okay, if input underscore str in keyword. This is what I can directly write. That's the beauty of Python. It becomes very simple. And then print what? Print input underscore str, okay, comma, is a keyword. Okay, is a keyword. If I'm finding it, it is a keyword. Okay, is a keyword. Else what I have to do is that, else it is not a keyword. That's the only thing I have to do. Else is not a keyword. Okay, it's not a keyword. So now let's run it and check. Okay, so here I'm giving defer, I'm getting defer is a keyword. Great, I'll run it one more time, and here I'm writing while, and while is not a keyword. Okay, so in case you're wondering which IDE I'm using PyCharm. Okay, you can easily see the icon is PC, so I'm using PyCharm. So now I got the output. So we run the program with C++, and we run the program with Python, and both the cases we are getting the right result. You can see in Python it got completed in 5 or 6 lines, but in C it got around 10 to 12 lines. It was there, right? How many lines it was? It was having around 23, 22 lines of code. Okay, but nothing to worry about. Whatever language you are comfortable with, you can write the code in that. Okay. So now let's go back over here. Okay. Now let's look at the another question. The another question is that find the nth term of the series. Okay, you have to find the nth term of the series, and here we have two series. It is a mixture of two series. Okay, all the odd terms in this series form a geometric progression. So the odd term is also a GP. Okay, O stand for odd term, and then the even term yet form another GP. Okay, so both are GP only, right? Both are GP. Write a program to find the nth term in the series. They have given some rules. The value n in a positive integer that should be read. Okay, the nth term is calculated by the program. Other than value of n, no other character string should be written to the std output. If n is equal to 16, the 16 term is 2187. 2187 should be printed. Okay, 16, 2187, 1364. Okay, so now you understood, and they have written that you can assume that n will not exceed 30. Fine, fair enough. Now, so we have all the series here. Now you can see one can be written as 2 to the power 0, and the other one can be written as 2 to the 3 to the power 0. Reason being is that 1, 2, 4. So this is the power of 2 to the power n, and this other one is that 3, 9. So this is the power of 3 to the power n, right? This is what we have to do. Now at add positions, we have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So basically power of 2 is having at odd position and power of 3 is are there in the even position. Okay. So now let's talk about the fifth term. If I'm talking fifth term is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is my fifth term. Okay, so that is of course in the odd position. So now the fifth is where it lies in the third position of my at my GP of 2, right? It lies in the second position, third position. So how I have to calculate? So I have to calculate 5 upon 2 plus 1. This is how I will calculate. 5 upon 2 will give me 2. Adding to 1 will give me 3. And this is how I'm going to reach there. Okay. So whenever these kind of things come, even and odd, even is going to be very simple, n upon 2, but for odd it is going to be n upon 2 plus 1. Always remember this logic. Okay, always remember this logic. So now we have understood it. Okay, so now let's go and write the program. So we'll start with C. Okay, so I'll delete everything, and then what I'm going to do is that hash include stdio.h, and then I will be using math.h here because I have to use power function. Okay, and then the first is that I'll make power of 3. Okay, this is the GP. Okay, this is the one, and it is going to take one input. The parameter will be n, and the term number that we have to pass, right? And I'm writing int x, which is used to calculate the value. Actually, x is equal to going to be power of 3 comma and minus 1. Okay, and minus 1. Why? Because the first term is 0, right? So it is, if I'm giving the third term, if I'm talking about third term, let's suppose the third term actually should be 0, 3 and 9. 0, 3 and 9, right? I'll write over here. Okay, I'll write comment over here. So the term is 0 and then 3 and then 9. This is how it is, right? So now the power of this is 2. Okay, the power of, basically we can write it 3 to the power, okay, I can use this symbol 3 to the power 2. This is what it is. Okay, that's the reason it is going to be n minus 1. The third term will become raised to the power 2. That's the reason I have reduced the power, reduced the value over here. Don't get confused why I'm reducing it. I have given the explanation over here clearly. Okay, now what I have to do is that here I have to print it. So percentile d and then print the value of x. That's it. Okay, same thing we have to do for the power of 2. So I'm just copy pasting it, and I'll change this to 2, and here I'll change it to 2, and here also it is going to be n minus 1. Nothing much different, nothing much different, and I'll print it. Now it's time for our main function. In the main function, what I have to do is that I have to write int n. I have to take the values, I have to read it, scanf percentile d. Okay, and then ampersand n. I'm reading it. I missed the semicolon, so let me write it. If n modulus 2 is equal to 0, then which one I should call? I should call the power of 3, right? This is what I should call. I should call the power of 3, right? So let's do it. So power, instead of, it's a very big name, so I'll just copy paste it. Power of 3 with the value of n comma 2, right? N comma 2. Else what I have to do is that, else Else I have to call the other function, I have to call the another function, but this time I'll be calling it n upon 2 plus 1. This time I'll be calling it with n upon 2 plus 1, and then I have to return 0. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so now I believe my fun code is ready. Okay, I missed the semicolon over here, and did I miss it anywhere else? And the x, it should be semicolon. Why did I write equal to? I don't know that. So okay, here also I missed the semicolon, and now it's fine. Okay, so for 16 it was supposed to be 2187. Fine, I'm getting the correct output. Okay, one more time. For 13 I was supposed to get 64, I believe. 13 I'm getting 64. Okay, so that's it, we are done. Now we will try to write the same code in the Python, and you will be wondering how simple it can be in Python. Okay, so now I'm going to Python. I'm going to delete the code which I had written earlier, and then I'm going to take, num is equal to input. Okay, so that the user will input a value, and what I have to do is that if num modulus 2 equal to 0. Okay, if it is even, then what I have to do is that I have to num is equal to num floor division. This is floor division I have to do, right? Num modulus 2, I got the term, and then what I have to do is that I have to directly print what, print. If it is even, then I have to print the power of 3, right? So 3 2 star mark, and then you will just write num -1. That's it. This is the only thing you have to do. Okay, nothing else. In case it is else part, if it is not the same thing, num is equal to num 2, and then print, and then what, 2 asterisk bracket num -1. That's it, nothing else. Let's run the code and check the output. Okay, so for value of 16, it is going to be 2187. Okay, so there is some error. What is the error? Num is equal to uh, finished with code exit 1. Okay, so let us check it once again. If num modulus 2 is equal to 0, it is fine. Num is equal to, okay. By default everything is in a string, so I have to convert it into an integer. Python, every input is in a string, so I have to convert it into an integer. Okay, now let's run it. So 16 2187, awesome, very good. You can see the output that is coming over here. And now this time, if I'm running it with 13, I should get 64. Okay, I guess it was supposed to be 14. I guess 14 64. What happened? There is some error over here or what? Okay, I have missed one one part. Num upon 2 plus 1. That was the part I was missing. Okay, so now this is the complete code. So now let's run it for even values. 13, it should give me 64. Okay, great. I got it. Okay, there were few errors. I was just trying to be in a hurry, and that's the reason I made few errors. But you should not do that. You should be careful. Okay, we already thought that we already discussed about that. When it is odd, of course you have to add 1 after dividing it by 2, and I was missing that part. Okay, so now I've corrected that. Okay, so now we have solved two questions. So let me go back to the slide. So we have solved two coding questions, right? One was the series and the other was the array part. And both are simple, right? Not much logic was there. Then the first one, you just had to make sure that, you are making a right array, and then you are comparing everything. And the second one, you just had to make sure that, your two GPs are working fine, right? And then based on the even out, you have to make a call. Okay, so I'm stopping my screen share now. With that, we come to the end of our session. The TCS NQT format for coding contains sections on MCQ, short coding, and long coding questions. We solved one question paper today, and we look forward to have you in our next videos as well. Thank you so much and have a great day.